Hello and welcome to the Black Dog Sports Podcast. I am your host, ArthurJ Jr. of the class of '08, and I'm joined by my co-hosts, Mr. Derek Thomas and Mr. Jeremiah Short. And we're coming to talk about the demise of Mississippi State football. We started off thinking that we were going to the playoffs, and now we're headed
Bandwagon
to
broken.
the playoffs.
Bandwagon broken, bro.
I hope we can win. I just hope we can win a game. So, we're gonna be talking about the Bama game. Then we have a interview. What's the Vandy guy name? His last name like
Weinstein.
Weinstein. Okay, yeah. We want to stay away from Weinstein. Then we're gonna finish off previewing the Vanderbilt game. Speaking of which, there he goes right there.
I didn't know it was gonna let him in yet. I thought I was gonna do R.
Well, we are.
He's
late.
here now, so we might as well.
We are late, so
exactly. All right, so
what's going on, Robbie?
Yeah, go ahead.
What's up, guys?
Hey, what's up?
How's it going?
Doing all right. So
I cannot see him. Is he on the phone?
no, he's got a little darkness over there, bro.
Yeah, I don't have great lighting in here, unfortunately. Sorry.
Like he is in my room.
So Robbie, go ahead and let our listeners know who you are and who you write for Vanderbilt for.
Hey, yeah, what's up, guys? My name is Robert Weinstein. I cover Vanderbilt for 24/7. So, I do a lot of recruiting stuff, but during the season, it's mostly covering the actual football team, which this year has been a lot of losses.
So tell me, how's it?
Welcome to the club.
So how's it being a recruiting person for Vanderbilt? You don't exactly get to look at the top tier guys. So how's it getting a chance to look at a bunch of 2- and 3-star type players? I'm just joking. Just kidding.
Well, yeah, it's mostly 3 stars, not a lot of 2 stars, but there's no doubt. I mean, they're struggling right now. It's hard to recruit when all the other coaching staffs are saying that your coach is going to be fired, whether it's true or not.
Well, what about the academic standards of Vanderbilt? Does that hurt y'all any?
I think it definitely rules them out for some guys, but at the same time, there are also a number of guys who they get because of that. Like, I think, for instance, there's a guy, James Ziegler, who's like a cornerback in the Atlanta area. He plays for the high school that Justin Fields went to. I think he was down to Pitt and Vanderbilt. And I mean, Pitt is, a better program right now, but he picked Vanderbilt because of the education. So there are a few guys like that every year. For players who really do legitimately care about academics a lot, it can be a difference maker. But, most guys, they say that academics are really important, but the football is going to be most important, which makes sense, right? So it works both ways.
And then y'all have dipped into Mississippi a few times too. It was a safety y'all had out of Merida, and he eventually transferred.
Yeah. So, Zaire Jones. Yeah.
So I mean, all right. So let's get this show on the road, Arthur.
All right. So first question that we had for you is what do you think about the season to this point? You just got done talking about that the coach may or may not get fired. There's a little bit of instability there. So I think you guys hadn't won any games to this point. And so what has that been like to this point? Oh goodness. Nothing. I'm talking about something else. But how has that been up to this point for the season?
Yeah, I mean, the first game against Texas A&M, they played pretty well. It was I think it was 17-12, and it was a game in the fourth quarter. But since then, I think they've lost by more than 30 points each of the 3 games since then. So, I think at some point, they probably see this as the most winnable game remaining. But at some point, when you're losing games by 30 plus points every time, and Ole Miss dropping a 50 burger on them, that's got to be pretty demoralizing at some point, right? They lost some players before the season who transferred out or that opted out of the season, so they're already kind of a thin roster. They've had some issues with COVID, and then they get on the field and they're losing by a lot, by multiple touchdowns the last 3 games. So this is a really important game for them because if they can't play Mississippi State close after, Mississippi State hasn't played very well recently either, then, you're looking at a long season.
So that kind of brings us to our next question. Is there a sense among the Vanderbilt fans that this is going to be the first win of the season?
It's funny you say that. There's not that sense. There's honestly not. It's on the road. Yeah, it's on the road. And I think the thing is, when you're losing by 30 plus points, they've got to prove otherwise, basically, at this point, right? Like how if you were going into this game thinking it's going to be a close game, what from the last month suggests that? There's no evidence that that's going to be the case.
Will y'all even cover the spread?
What?
Will y'all cover the spread?
Well, we're the favorite.
What is the spread right now? I saw it was 19 and a half.
I have it pulled up here. The spread right now
19.5 or something?
Is 19 points as far as on Odd Shark.
Yeah.
But that means we had to beat y'all by 19.
Yeah.
More than 19, by 20. We had to beat y'all by 20.
The sense among Mississippi State fans is that this could very well be y'all first win. Because if y'all rush 3 and drop 8, apparently we don't have an answer for it.
The thing is, Vandy, their corners, you can drop them and they still, the last couple of games, especially against Ole Miss, they were dropping guys and they couldn't cover Elijah Moore. He had almost 200 yards in the first half.
So basically, we have a chance to beat y'all drop 8 zone.
I think so. I mean, they had a bunch of guys out in the secondary and they're working their way back. They're getting back into shape.
Just put our walk-ons out there for us, please.
This guy
I don't think it'll get that far, but
this guy has no faith in the team.
Yeah, I mean, their corners have been backing way off the line of scrimmage this year. And so, I feel like if you do that against Mississippi State, they're just going to think and dime you and pick up 6 yards or 8 yards all game, basically, right, in the short passing game.
Trust me, if Costello starts, y'all stand a fighting chance.
I don't think he's going to start. But
I guess we don't know, yeah.
So my question is, it kind of seems like I've been trolling a little bit, but how is it kind of like being a 247 writer, so being a writer of kind of a recruiting website, you kind of almost have to be a little bit of a homer. So how is it kind of almost trying to fake enthusiasm for a team like Vanderbilt that probably isn't as strong, writing for a team like that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't need to be a homer. I don't fake enthusiasm. I get where you're coming from because you need to have relationships with the staff. But I think Vanderbilt's staff understands that, I think they understand that I'm fair. Hopefully they understand that. And, I mean, I don't really do a ton of column writing, opinionated stuff. I do analysis, but, I think the fans see the product on the field and they can judge for themselves what they think, and they can judge for themselves what they think of the coach. I don't need to tell them what to think. So to me, I haven't had the fake enthusiasm. I just try to play it right down the middle and, give the fans all the information that I can give them. And then they make the determination whether they, think things are on the right track or whether, this player they like or that player they don't like. It's up to them.
What type of fans are Vandy fans? I guess we deal with Ole Miss and we know how Looney Tune their fans are, but how are Vandy fans?
I mean, there's not that many of them, right? It's just, since it's the smallest school by far in the SEC, the alumni base is way smaller. And I think it's a student body that doesn't care as much about sports as the other SEC schools. And then on top of that, most of the students don't come from the South, so they didn't grow up paying attention to the SEC. I'm from Ohio. I didn't care about the SEC growing up. Lots of kids from Chicago, from New York City, from LA. From that perspective, I think it's difficult for them. The enthusiasm will be there if they start winning at some point. And, there's a lot to sell in Nashville, but at the same time, they definitely, the fans have a lot of other options, at least the fans who live in Nashville. There's a lot of other stuff to do in terms of entertainment. So I think it's interesting. It is still a football school, I'd say. I think the fans still care most about football out of, the three main sports, since baseball is big here. But I think that could change because I think the basketball program, the men's basketball program, I think is on the right track with Stackhouse.
Mm-hmm.
So if they get really good, I think there's a lot of potential there. But the fan base, I think, cares a lot about basketball, but the basketball hasn't been good recently either. So that's going to be interesting to watch. Right now, it's still a football fan base.
Y'all say y'all got Skip Bayless.
That's true. Is that a good thing? I don't think that's a good thing though. That's a negative.
I have two
I love
Vandy
Skip.
grads that work with me, like I told you, two doctors that work with me. So I told them I was gonna be hiding from them this week. I didn't want to talk too much noise, because I didn't really talk any noise.
I used to talk noise to a
State's
Vanderbilt fan. Like, is that even a thing?
I mean, you gotta be able to talk noise somehow. I mean,
To a Vandy fan.
You're a Vandy. Did you graduate from Vandy? You went to Vandy, right, Robert?
Yeah, I did. I went.
Yeah, so he's a Commodore alum. So I mean, you're a Vandy fan yourself.
No, I don't care anymore, honestly. Like, I think the thing is, it's too, if that's your life, like, your job is covering, a team that you're a fan of, it just would get too exhausting in terms of, like, especially when they're losing so much, it would be too exhausting. I don't care anymore. It's easier to cover a winning team because the coaches are happy and they're more, willing to talk to you, and they got more energy and stuff. But the players are happier. But other than that, I don't care. Whatever happens.
I wanted to, you probably heard this as far as with the media availability for Derek Mason. He basically kind of compared Ole Miss and Mississippi State's offense. He called both of them air raids. But, like, Ole Miss will run the ball. We won't. So, I mean, what do you think about that comment that Coach Mason made?
Yeah, I asked him that question.
Okay, that was your question. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I asked him, like, how different, how he thinks the offenses are different. And he thinks, I guess, that Lane Kiffin has implemented more, air raid concepts, I guess, this year with Ole Miss compared to, maybe what he was doing at Alabama or something. But, yeah, it is different because early in the game against Ole Miss, when it started getting out of hand, like, Ole Miss was running the ball and they were really successful with it. I think Vandy's run defense isn't that bad. I think the passing defense has really been what the issue has been more so this year. So, I do think, especially since Kylin Hill, I guess, just isn't going to play anymore. Yeah, I think Vandy could have some success stopping the run, and I don't know that Mississippi State's
we don't run the ball.
Right, exactly. Right. So, I mean, I don't know if I just kind of think you may not have to run the ball.
I mean, we're averaging 30 yards per game in running the ball.
Yeah, that's crazy.
30 yards. Yeah. And we're averaging 14.8 points a game. You guys are averaging 11.3 points a game. So something's going to have to give here. Our defense is pretty solid. So you couldn't tell about last game, but, the three previous games, our defense kept us in every game potentially to be winnable, aside from Kentucky, where, that game could have gotten out of hand, but the defense really kind of kept us in the game.
Yeah.
To where if the offense could have gotten anything going, it's possible we could be 4-1 heading into this game. And I kind of like to little say Pirates of the SEC, with Mike Leach being a Pirate and, Vanderbilt being the Commodores. If you're a fan of the Pirates of the Caribbean series, you had Pirates versus, the English Royal Navy. So kind of fun, and hopefully, how that movie ended, and the Pirates will come out on top, and the Commodores will be sending back home losers.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, you talked about the defense, the defense for Mississippi State. I do think, I think that's what people aren't talking about. I don't think it's going to be as easy for Vanderbilt offensively as it was against Ole Miss. Like, I don't know that they're going to score 21 points in this game. Probably less than that.
No.
Yeah, I kind of
we just have a severe breakdown.
So let me ask you this. You kind of talked about what scares y'all, what y'all are kind of on the lookout for. But for the program going forward, like I said, you alluded to that people are saying that the coaches are going to get fired or whatnot. But where do you think the program is headed, or what's some things that could happen to make Vanderbilt football at least respectable?
Well, they do have one really good thing going in their favor. That's that they've got a quarterback of the future. Ken Seals is the starting quarterback. He's a true freshman, and I think he's pretty good, actually. His stats don't look that great, but the offensive line in front of him is they lost a bunch of guys. 4 guys opted out before the season. 1 starter from last year transferred. So they just don't have a lot of guys on the offensive line. They're inexperienced, and the O-line is definitely the worst O-line in that SEC, I think. And then the wide receivers haven't really done a great job of getting open either. So, I mean, Seals, his stat line doesn't really look that good, but it's like kind of misleading because he is really accurate, and I think he's going to be a very good player. They've got him for at least 2 more years, probably more than that. So, that's one good thing that they've got going for them. I'd say that, the issues are that they may have to make a decision on Mason's contract this offseason. They don't make the contract public because they're a private university, but he got an extension in 2017 and an extension in 2019. So you would imagine spring 2021, you probably got to either give him an extension or maybe you fire him. I don't know. Because like for recruiting purposes, it really helps to be able to say I'm under contract for the next 5 years.
Right.
So if you commit, I'll be here the whole time.
Well, speaking.
So so recruiting has been difficult because recruits are being told by other coaching staffs that Mason's going to get fired. I don't think we know the answer to that. I don't think Vanderbilt knows if they're going to fire him because they're only 4 games into the season. So it's hard to say. But what I would say is a lot of people are talking about Vanderbilt going 0-10 or 1-9. They went 3-9 last year, and so if they end up 3-19 over the last 2 years or 4-18, there's just not a lot of SEC head coaches or Power 5 head coaches that survive that. So I don't have any inside information on whether they're going to fire him or not. I don't really, I don't know, and I don't really get into the opinion of whether they should or not. But I think historically, his track record is on pace to be against him if they don't really pick things up over the next 6 games.
Why do you think Derek Mason had been it? Because, I've always been a big fan of Derek Mason. I think he's pretty good at motivating things like that, but it's it does seem like at Vanderbilt, it's hard to get the pieces there. Because in SEC, you're going against all these. We recruit pretty well, and we're always 9th or 10th in the SEC. So I imagine Vanderbilt with the academic standard that y'all have there. Why do you think he hadn't been able to get that movement outside of maybe not being able to get the talent?
Yeah, I'm not completely sure. I think he's a pretty nice – he seems like a nice guy. I've only I haven't talked to him a lot, in person because, they haven't – I moved back to Nashville in, late December last year, and so I was only around for 4 spring practices before they shut down, and I haven't seen him since then. I think he's a nice guy. I think he made a couple of moves early when he got to Vandy that I think did not work, and that caused some issues long term. Basically, he came from Stanford and he wanted them to be like the Stanford of the SEC, run a pro style offense with You line up in the I formation and you run power up the middle and you use play action in the passing game. They were not running a spread offense. And I think how it turned out is that Vanderbilt is not going to get the big, nasty offensive linemen who are really highly rated recruits to be able to do that in the SEC. And so they had to adjust and go to a spread, but they only did that this year. And so it took them 6 years to make that adjustment.
Right.
And I think because it took so long, that just puts them too far behind.
Well, the thing is, it's probably akin to what Crum did when he came to Mississippi State. You can't run a pro-style offense without a certain level of talent. Stanford seems like they can recruit a certain level of talent. So especially at a Vanderbilt, you honestly need to probably just roll with what you can get. I hate to say it that way, but if you get a quarterback that's a dual threat, you might need to run a scheme like that. Maybe you can get the pro-style guy, then you run that system, but you can't recruit to a scheme like everybody else does.
A lot of Vanderbilt fans think they should go triple option. Seriously. Yeah, I don't personally think that. I don't think that, but I understand it.
Well, I was going to say that since you were talking about the offensive line, as long as you don't get any offensive lines that jump out and say, we want Bama, I think y'all will be all right. And speaking of when you were talking about quarterbacks, we actually have a former Commodore on our roster. Don't think he's eligible. Alan Walters, but if he was eligible, with KJ Costello possibly being injured and out for this game, Walters will be the backup quarterback. If he were eligible to play, what do you think he could bring to our offense?
Well, he was a decently rated recruit, and especially like early in high school, he had like Alabama and Michigan offer. Those, were not, later by the end of his high school career, they weren't going to take him as a commit, but they were interested early on, I guess. Vanderbilt's quarterback situation was so bad last year that Walters did get into a game, but he was the fourth stringer for most of the year. Mm-hmm. So, I think for whatever reason, it didn't work out. And, I think it's a decent idea by Mississippi State to take a flyer on him and see if they can, coach him up and make something out of him, since he does have some like natural talent. But, based on, I think if he were going to be a decent SEC quarterback, he would have been able to beat out those three guys last year. And he didn't do that. So I think it would be a surprise if he ever contributes for Mississippi State.
I mean, I guess you can look at it like this. Kylin Hill, from where he came from, he beat out Ryan Helinski at South Carolina. So who knows? Maybe we know what Leach can do with a journeyman or a quarterback that's not expected to do much as far as with Gardner Minshew.
Well, yeah, and it's a different scheme, so maybe he really adjusts great to the scheme and it fits him perfectly. Because they were running, Vanderbilt was doing pro style last year, so you never know. Maybe the change of scenery will be great for him.
All right, so Robbie, down to the nitty gritty here. What is your prediction for Vanderbilt versus Mississippi State?
Yeah, it's tough. I would go. I think Vandy will score 14. I don't know how many Mississippi State's going to score, but at least 28.
So you're picking Mississippi State to get our second win of the season?
Yeah, I think I would take Mississippi State.
Air Raid's going to drop them bombs on Vandy?
Yeah. I'm torn between is Mississippi State really going to score like 30 plus in this game? I guess I'll go with yes.
So do you think Mississippi State will cover the 19-point spread? If you had to pick.
I think the safer pick is no, because there's not that much room to go above, like 20 or 19 or whatever it is. Whereas I think there is a scenario where it ends up being close. So I think, I'll pick 31-14, which would be 17 points. So, I think there is a scenario where Vandy wins this game, or where it's close the whole way and it just doesn't even get anywhere close to 19.5.
Well, I would like for the last meeting, the score from the last meeting we played. Vandy,
yeah, what was that? Like 57-0 or something?
51-0.
51-0, yeah.
Can we get the ghost of Mullen, to come back? Jeremiah, you remember that game?
What game?
Well, when we beat Vandy 51-0 in 2014.
Not really.
That was Mason's first season. They were kind of a mess that first season.
Really?
They got better from there, but.
So, Robin, man, I want to thank you for joining us, man. And if we do a post game, we'd definitely like to have you come on the post game. Hopefully, you'll be coming on, and you won't be a happy Commodore, and we'll be some happy Bulldogs because we'll got our second win of the season.
Yeah, I'll let you know. I got some stuff to write after the game, but it depends on how that goes. If I get it done pretty quickly, I should be able to. So we'll see what happens. We'll see how it goes, but hopefully.
Most definitely. All right. Appreciate it, brother.
Sweet. Thanks for having me, guys.
All right.
Thanks for coming on.
Whew. I just hope like I say, man, I just hope we can win a game.
Yeah. So do we even want to talk about
let's talk about the Bama game, at least just around the horn type of deal, okay? So, Jeremiah, thoughts, Bama game, quickly.
I'm not gonna be long-winded. I think, as I said before the game, it wasn't the best matchup overall. Outside of them just being Alabama, I don't think even if we were kind of rolling on offense and starting to do well, we want to beat them. We just don't match up well with them. That 3-3-5 defense we have is gonna do well pretty much against every other team we play this year, outside of Alabama. They're just too big. And ultimately, as we saw, they have too much speed at the receiving position. I mean, I personally think Devontae Smith is going to get drafted in the top 5 just off our game ball.
Especially if you're covering him with safeties. I mean, come on.
That's not their fault, though. That's the way they schemed it. They do that against everybody. They're not covering with safeties when they send them in motion and stuff. That's who gets isolated. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to isolate them on a safety. That's a bad matchup. They did that against Georgia, so.
Agreed.
All right, Derek, same thing to you.
You know what? Everybody was saying Will Rogers shouldn't have started because you didn't want to throw him in that fire against Bama. Well, guess what? He got thrown into the fire against Bama. So it would have made perfect sense to start him and let him play the whole game, because before KJ Costello got hurt, we didn't have a first down for a whole quarter. Rogers comes in, gets us our first down. I mean, it's time to roll the freshman. Real talk.
He said give him a shot, see what he can do with a full game, a full week with all the practice reps.
Enough with the neck and neck, man. Roll with Rogers. Real talk. Arthur,
right.
What you got, bro? I know you got something to say about this Bama blowout.
Check this out. First of all, I got on my Real Men Wear Pink shirt that I got from Two Gun Tactical or whatnot. You figure deal with me?
Is that supporting cancer?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
It's got the National American Cancer Society, all that good stuff. I want to point out that I did not watch the game.
You ain't miss shit. Oh, you ain't miss nothing.
Exactly. Now you said it right. I did not miss SHIT. Y'all already knew on Nation I wouldn't go watch their game. I mean, it wasn't because I didn't want to watch the game. Like, I knew what was going to happen. Like, I kept up with the game, but I went and ate Menudo, okay?
We played like Menudo.
Yeah, I went and I ate Menudo. You know what I'm saying? I had a little casual meeting situation going on, you feel me? Went out for a little joyride, whatever afterward. But yeah, I didn't watch the game. She told me that I wasn't missing anything because the outcome was going to be the same as all the other games. So, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't watch it. And I don't know who we play November 21st, but I ain't watching that one either. So, but like I say, playoffs, we'll be lucky if we can win a game. I do not think that the team showed any sign of life. They rolled over and played dead, or as someone said, they really got on the bus and took a field trip to Tuscaloosa. That was it.
Well, after Vandy, we host Auburn, then we head to Georgia, then we head to Oxford, and then we host Missouri. So, yeah, we got some tough games coming up.
We'll be lucky if we can win even one of them. That's real.
We're going to get to it. I think we're being a bit too pessimistic in that standpoint. But.
All right, Jeremiah. You the person that was like, we get ready to go to the playoffs, so we might leach. Wait a second. Look at me, Jeremiah. Why don't you just tell the people the truth and tell them that AJ told us that this was going to happen?
Funny.
I told you that this was going to happen, but the fake news media convinced us that this was a good hire. So, speaking of Jeremiah Short, Jeremiah Short's, hometown hero finally opted out.
Call him Jeremiah Short's hometown hero.
Well, you always claim you from the same hometown.
Yeah.
No, they don't call him.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Derek, low key, right? You do be sounding extra salty every time. But Jeremiah Short's hometown hero, Kylin Hill, the person on the Black People's Mount Rushmore next to Harriet Tubman, somewhere there's like Harriet Tubman, Martin Luther King. In the middle is Kylin Hill, then Malcolm X. Okay, Kylin Hill got rid of the Mississippi flag. You know what I'm saying?
He helped the flag vote.
Nah, it was him. He sparked that change. He used his position of privilege and his position of publicity to finally do something for the community, to make change within the Black community. you know what all type of stuff we can get? They build like $1 billion concert venue on the coast. Amazon is putting something like somewhere near Jackson. I think they putting something up in like somewhere up in like DeSoto County or something like that also. And we just got done changing the state flag yesterday. So we have Kylin Hill to thank for all of that. It is what it is. Say whatever you want to, but that man is a civil rights figure forever in Mississippi history. Right up there with like Medgar Evers. I just got to put it out there. It is what it is, okay? They need to have a whole section in the Mississippi History Museum and the Mississippi Civil Rights Museum dedicated to Kylin Hill. Put his jersey. Matter of fact, I need to talk to somebody right now. We need a signed Mississippi State jersey.
Let's get to it, man.
And we need to put it in.
Let him have his rent.
I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? He is a civil rights leader. Okay? It is what it is. Okay? Put him in the museum. Anyway, so like I was saying, Jeremiah Short. Do you believe that this is actually over now? Or is this like the end of Friday the 13th where the girl was in the boat, she thought everything was over, and then he jumped out of that water and pulled her down?
Man, I think it is what it is. I like the way he handled it. And I know I even mentioned, I think maybe it was after our show or maybe it was the previous show. Yeah, can I finish?
I'm just surprised.
I like the way he handled it. And as I was saying, I think like I said, he kind of needed a PR team. I kind of was joking, but I was kind of being serious. Well, I think we were saying it in our breakfast with Black Dog. Shout out. Y'all look out for that this upcoming Saturday. But I think like he did it the right way with a statement. He kind of released some background information as to what was going on with his family. And I think it made him look a lot better. And it made him look like he was just going to be preparing for the draft. Because I think if it was just he didn't show back up to the team and the coach heard, it just looks bad. I mean, that may have not what happened because Errol Thompson, tweeted a clown face. I mean, I don't know what it was for, but it was conspicuously around the same time. But at the same on that same token, like I like the way he did it. I think it would make him look better as far as for the pro scouts. That he didn't go out dramatic. I think it's a good, I guess, nice way for him to go out. So I think it is over as far as the Mississippi State career, but I think the door does leave the door open. Maybe he can come and be at the Ole Miss game or something like that. So I think it lets him leave his career on a lot better note, a lot better than a Dante Walker or someone like this. So I like how he did it, and I think it'll help his pro pursuits.
Was Dante Walker the one who just like walked off or something like that?
Yes, during senior day.
All right, Derek, same question to you. Is this over?
Yes, Kylin Hill's Mississippi State Bulldog career is officially over. I don't think, he's going to come back and play in a game at all this year. Man hadn't practiced in weeks. It's time for him to move on. Whether he's declaring for the draft, in my opinion, I really feel like he should transfer and play his thing. Let me finish, dude. You finished. I feel like he should transfer and play another year of college football just so he can have a better end to his college football career. That's my opinion. While I do hope he gets drafted because I do feel like he can contribute to an NFL team. If I could make the decision, I would go into the transfer portal and transfer somewhere and play college football for one more year, showcase my abilities, and then enter the draft and just have a better end to your college football career because this isn't what he expected and isn't what Mississippi State fans expected as well.
Okay, so, Derek, while we're at it, just hypothetically, where do you think would possibly be a transfer destination? Are you talking about he should go play somewhere this spring, or should he play somewhere else next fall?
Well, if he wants to play football in the spring, he would have to go to an HBCU. I really feel like he should transfer to another FBS school so he can play. He can play immediately once he graduates. So he'll be eligible immediately as a graduate transfer. I would love to see him go to Memphis because Kenny Gainwell is leaving this year. So that leaves a hole in the Memphis backfield. Kylin Hill can fill that hole. And Memphis has had just as many running backs, if not more running backs drafted than Mississippi State the last couple of years. You got to look at Tony Pollard, Mississippi native Darrell Henderson. And this year, Kenny Gainwell is predicted to go in the third round. So if Kylin Hill were to transfer to Memphis, and be able to showcase his abilities playing for the Memphis Tigers and just have a better end to his college football career, I think that would be a good thing. But 9 times out of 10, he's going to go straight to the draft, train for the draft, hopefully have a good workout at the combine, because there's no doubt he's going to get invited to the combine. I feel he's going to get invited to the combine. He's a lock to be invited to the combine. Why wouldn't he be invited to the combine?
Oh, not that. I'm thinking about you side him going to Memphis.
Yeah.
There is no way that I will leave Mississippi State University and go play in freaking Memphis in Orange Mound.
Would you rather him go to Ole Miss?
At Liberty.
He ain't gonna go to Ole Miss though.
I don't give a blankety blank where he goes at this point. But I think that he'll probably just, go pro or whatever. I could see him claiming he going to an HBCU just for the pub and, all the likes and the retweets and stuff like that. That sounds like right up his alley. Right before he does something like, I don't know, go play at Georgia or something. Who knows? But if I ask him.
Well, he did post on his Facebook. He was asked, I'm pretty sure it's been deleted, if he ever went to an HBCU, he would have went to Alcorn. And, Alcorn has been killing it. 6-time SWAC East champs. They won the last 2 SWAC championships. If he did decide to go to an HBCU and want to stay in the state of Mississippi, Alcorn would be the perfect fit.
That is what it is. At this point, I feel as though that, to a certain degree, like the Joe Moorhead years for him were pretty much a wash, especially that first year that he was here. He didn't get ran enough or whatever. Derek, you wrote an article from Ruin White Nation where you talking about possible NFL destinations for him. Mm-hmm. And I asked you, was one of the destinations the practice squad?
It's possible. If he gets drafted and doesn't perform, he's talented enough to make an NFL roster. And if he doesn't make an NFL roster, there have been first-round draft picks signed to practice rosters. Look at what's the quarterback from UCLA? I forgot his name. The one that keeps trading and signing and releasing, keep giving him chance to the chance. At one point he was on the Bucs practice squad. I can't remember his name.
You
played
say
for the Cardinals, then for the Dolphins. Now he's with the Buccaneers.
Which guy?
He came out of UCLA. His name is escaping me right now.
You got Josh Rosen?
Josh Rosen, yeah. So, there's nothing wrong with being on a practice squad. You practice, you get paid. You're in the NFL. And you get a chance to showcase your skills for other teams to potentially, sign you if someone gets injured. No. There's nothing wrong with being on a practice squad, homie. Get a check.
Hey, no Kaepernick, right? So there's a neighbor, a person who stayed a couple of houses down from me. He went to the NFL on the practice squad. Played college ball at UAPB, was actually pretty good. I think he was like an all-conference tight end or something like that. Went up to go play for the Minnesota Vikings on the practice squad. And he said like the first practice, he got hit on the knee by some guy from like Miami or something like that. And he went back to the hotel room and called his mama and said that he was coming home. True story, okay? I am not going to say who this person is. If anybody from Greenville is watching this, all I'm going to say is that his initials is OM. Okay? That's all I'm going to say. But yeah, he said he got popped on the knee and said he called his mama crying and was like, I'm coming home. But, cool dude or whatever. Straight up beast at UAPB or whatnot. But that's just my when you said practice squad, that's all I can think about is him getting popped and coming home, crying to his mama. So okay, Kylin Hill situation, we're in agreement. This is probably the end of the road. I personally wouldn't rule it out. So, the preview of the Vanderbilt game. Does the team even have a pulse?
We skipped over the flag
what?
thing, but keep going.
The flag thing, we can get to the flag later. Okay. Oh, well, I broached it a little bit. Okay.
He did.
Is it a coincidence that Kylin Hill opted out that the flag got changed? I'm gonna start with Derek on that one.
No, start with Jeremiah. That's his point.
All right, Jeremiah.
First off, just give kudos to Mississippi for actually changing their flag. I actually like the other one a little better, but I like that. Now, I don't know if I give – technically, we got to give Kylin credit, but I don't think he really deserves it, but that's beside the point. But it is kind of apropos that all happened in the same week. It just happened to be the same week as the election that, Kylin is opting out, as we were saying, on the same week that we voted for a new state flag. We've been looking at this Confederate flag most of our lives, and now we get to see something different. Like I said, AJ tried to organize a protest in college, and nobody believed him. So I guess it's good that, we was able to get all those people galvanized, regardless of the reasoning, and went up there and pushed to get the state flag changed. But as they say, money talking, walk a marathon. People started thinking that money was going to be impacted. They decided to make the change. So I'm glad Mississippi has finally chosen a new flag, and maybe this could be a new era in, Mississippi or whatever. I don't know.
All right. I wanted to point out also that the new flag does remind me of a coral snake every time that I see it. So, Derek, same question to you. Is the time a little bit funny to you, or think you think it's just all a big coincidence?
I don't think it's a coincidence. We all knew when the flag was going to get voted on. That's been on the docket for weeks. We had no knowledge of when Kylin Hill was going to make his announcement because it's been like, I guess, him and Leach just haven't been on the same page as far as communication. If you look at Leach's interviews or what he said about his communication with Hill, and then you look at how social media has just been saying things that they've said about him. And I'm a person, I just paused. I didn't really want to get into any of that banter, but with him coming out letting us know what happened, things he's going on with his family. You have to give the young man some credit. I don't think he quit, because if he ain't gonna say Gary Shirley quit, if you ain't gonna say any other player quit, you shouldn't call Kylin Hill a quitter.
They quit.
All those players left in the middle of the season too. Now, a lot of people may feel like, it was a foregone conclusion that he was not going to be welcomed back to the team. We don't have any evidence to say that he would have or would not have been welcomed back, but with the way Leach was addressing it, really, if I was him, I would have made a decision for myself, either to declare for the draft or enter the transfer portal, because sometimes you have to, make the decision for yourself. If you don't like what's going on, you have options, and that's what the transfer portal or what declaring for the NFL draft gives you, because he has earned the right to potentially be drafted by his play on the field. Unfortunately, his senior year did not go the way that he wanted to, but it's either here nor there.
Okay. So, there you have it. Kylin Hill, great Mississippian, great Mississippi State football player, civil rights leader. Take his jersey, put it into the 2 museums downtown. If my friend Bettina Okafor is watching this right now, make that happen, okay? Get him to do a brown.
Open invitation to Kylin Hill to join the Black Dogs.
Yeah. Come on, Black Dog Sports Podcast. You can try and choke you through the.
We from the same city.
Oh, he know where
you know the same people.
Catching my side.
Y'all be in the same spot. You say it must be 2 sides. You're like, why you went to Caledonia? He went to Columbus High. He said you was afraid that you were gonna get put into a locker.
No.
Well, I mean, I would love to have him on the
I went
show.
where my what was the district line said that I went. Like I have a
But the
choice.
thing is, it would be good to have him on. I mean, since he is declaring he can speak, but I don't think we're gonna get anything. I mean, like he can speak his mind on some things, but if we're gonna get any answers to what really happened, nah, we ain't gonna get that.
Well, we didn't say we was inviting them on to even ask about all of that, but
Hey,
my thing is, you want to kind of get in front of everything and start preparing yourself for the draft. Why not come on the Black Dog, say your piece, and answer a lot of the questions that people have always had?
well, you know who has the openest of invitations is E40. You know what I'm saying? If you watch it,
Oh yeah, man, you definitely a must, man.
yeah,
Shout
Oh,
out
yeah.
to
you
Harold
know
Thompson.
what I'm saying? F with us. You know, he fooled with the podcast real heavy. We love that guy. All right, so now we get to talking about the Vanderbilt game. Does the team have a pulse? Because like I said, they rolled over and played possum in the Alabama game. I don't know what that was about. Thank God I didn't watch it. Jeremiah, does the team have a pulse?
Yeah, I mean, I think
Playoffs, can we win another game?
I think people that look, like I said, the games the rest of the way, I think the games will be competitive. Like, I ain't saying we're going to beat Auburn or Georgia or anything like that, but our defense is really good. I think losing Fred Peters is going to be a big loss in our secondary. We found that out this Saturday with Devontae Smith pretty much destroyed Kylin Duncan. I think he gave like 3
It was
touchdowns.
Colin Duncan and London Crab.
I think the thing, as far as us having a pulse, yeah, I think we do because our defense is still playing well. I won't say the players aren't playing hard. They're just adjusting to an offense that is very difficult to go against. I mean, they've never seen no drop 8, and the guys are just not used to the system. It's going to take time. I don't expect it to last the whole season with the offense just struggling. I personally think a lot of the problems – it's 2 reasons our offense – well, 3 reasons really our offense is struggling. One, KJ it ain't just throwing interceptions. It's like his release is slow. He sits in the pocket too long. It was kind of refreshing to see Will get in there and actually move in the pocket, try to, I wouldn't call it evade the rush, but he wouldn't just be a sitting target. You see that he didn't get sacked as much. So I think that stuff is important. He has a quicker release. KJ has a slower release, and I think it messes up the timing. So I think Will being able to get a chance to practice, he missed 2 weeks because of COVID. I mean, I've seen a lot of guys, even in the pros, they miss because of COVID. It just messes them up. You got to think your rhythm. We don't know the overall effects of that. So, yeah, look at Cam Newton in the NFL. So, I think that's part of it. I think our receivers are not used to this system. They're used to just running routes. They're not used to running to a spot. So, I ain't saying you have to be smart, and our guys don't know how to be that, but they have to get used to this system. So, I think there's a lot of reason why the offense is struggling mightily. And then the offensive line blocking, but that could be more because of the splits than anything. Everybody keeps saying that the offense can't block, but if you're a run blocking offensive line and now people are asking you to pass block and then they got you in these ridiculous splits, you are going to struggle. So I think there are reasons for the offense to struggle, but a lot of our errors are correctable. It's just, it could be once we kind of get a little confidence, the guys will start doing well once they get confident in the system. But so I can see the offense start doing better as the season carry on. I don't think Auburn and Georgia like victories or unwinnable games like everybody's making it out to be, because I think we match up well with those teams.
All right, well,
here's what I'm looking at. And not me to sound top fools. I ain't saying we're going to beat them, but Auburn, we match up well with them, even though they did beat LSU, but our defense is better than LSU's. That's the part everybody keeps forgetting. Our defense is really good. They're going to keep us in some games. Our offense just needs to show some light. They don't need to score 30 points a game. They can get to 20 or 24. And you're talking about potentially playing some of these teams very close. I don't mean you're going to beat them, but you will play them close. So that's really how I look at that. I think our team is showing life. They've been playing hard all season. So now that Kylin's gone, I think everybody expect Will to, if he plays well, to be the guy. And I think they will give us clarity the rest of the way.
You know what, Jeremiah? I was just thinking to myself, I believe that I have a nickname for you on this podcast, which is CNN fake news, okay? Because most of the things that you say are just fake news. I'm
gonna have to defend Jeremiah. No.
Really?
I don't agree with that.
Okay.
I can't.
It's what you call
me
analysis,
and Jeremiah are supposed to be the one
I know
that
you're
disagree.
like, we're just not that good. The spread offense don't work. You don't really have a lot to back it up. So I don't agree with it. It's called analysis. I'm not trying to be a sunshine pumper. I'm just saying, I'm just looking at what I see as what the team is struggling with, and if they can turn it around.
You know what?
But,
You're
looking
absolutely
at fan
right.
comments.
Okay, what about the comments?
Looking at fan comments, Mr. John Stringer says Vandy needs to hire a good AD, and he wants him to hire John Cohen away from us.
What is
Hunter,
up with him and B. Martin on Gene's page with their beef with John Cohen?
And Hunter too says
hires everywhere except for football.
Hunter too really want to see Kylin run out with the new flag.
Well, he
That would have been awesome.
I mean, he can do that in like the
Man, I don't even know if I was wondering if he gonna be even allowed to come back for his pro day. I would like for him to be. I would like to have him come back and have his pro day, but like, I mean, it would be a sign of goodwill. But it's just, I mean, it just seems like he just at least didn't want to welcome him back in any form or fashion. You know, we understand what the reasons was given, but like, I'm still bothered by him saying he hadn't talked to him. And of course, everybody knows I'm a big fan of Coach Lee, but that just bothered me. How you gonna be the head football coach and you not even talk to your star player to say, okay, what's going on, what you got going on? Well, this is when you can potentially come back to the team. The repeat of what Jeremiah said, it just wasn't a good look. I mean, because football coaches are supposed to be like father figures.
Oh.
Even one of my football coaches that I didn't get along with, I looked at him for advice sometimes. So, I mean, that just bothers me. I just don't know if Kylin's going to be welcome back like that.
I'll say a lot about Coach Lee. I actually like Coach Lee. I think he
like
is a
him
good
too.
coach, but he ain't no father figure. Like let's.
I mean, he as a football coach he isn't. But when you look at it, like my head football coach in high school, Cheyenne Trussell, I mean, he helped teach me a lot about growing up, and like I can call him now and he will embark some lessons for me. So that's just the relationship that I feel football coaches have. When I coached football, I was like a pseudo father to some of the young men that I coached. No, I didn't coach at a higher level, but still, when you ask some of these football players at every level, about their football coaches, they revere them like fathers.
I get what you're saying and everything, man. That stuff sounds cool, but we talking big time college athletics, man. Like these great coaches.
That happens now with big time college athletics, though. Look at the relationship Joe Moorhead had with Kylin Hill. They had a real good relationship.
Yeah, and because of that, the whole team was in shambles. So that's a really
bad. You can't blame that all on Kylin. You know what? That's for another argument.
I'm one of those people
we can argue about that later.
Call me crazy. I'm one of those people that's like, I only got one father, and his name Arthur Hose the Senior. I don't need no other ninja to be my father. You my coach guy. But whatever.
I mean, that stuff is like, that don't mean. I mean, that's cool if a coach can be that guy, but you got to think the most successful era Mississippi State probably had, and we're probably still successful because of Dan Mullen. He wasn't no father figure. Dan Mullen was a football coach. Bill Belichick is a football coach. Nick Saban, he's a football coach. Like, I mean, I get what you're saying, but I don't really. I mean, that's cool if coaches are like that, but I prefer you just win football games. Coach Crum is a great guy. Like most of my friends played for him. He's a great guy, but he wasn't very good at coaching football games. So that's just me.
I see your point.
And apparently, half the time he didn't remember what team he was coaching anyway.
Yeah, it's a famous story when it came to that.
Yeah, y'all gotta fight for that. That crimson on your head.
Hell.
Is that what you said, Jeremiah? Said you're like, yeah.
Yeah, a friend of mine, he said that Chrome, they were playing, I guess, Alabama. And he told them, like, man, y'all be proud to wear that crimson and white. They were like, Coach, what?
Oh, boy, that would have lost him the team for real.
Remember them?
Not really. Like, not really.
Remember them goofball Walmart uniforms they had us wearing?
Oh, yeah. Our uniform was pretty trash while we were in college.
Yeah. Then the new ones came out, looked like created uniforms off NCAA 08 or something like that. It was just all bad.
Man,
All
I missed
right,
that
so
game.
do we have a chance to win the game? You played
Vanderbilt?
to win the game. Hello, you played to win the game. So, Derek, do we stand a chance?
The Bulldog fan in me feels yes, we do have a chance to win this game. The last time we played Vandy, we shut them out. We beat them and we just whooped them
And what year was that?
in 2014.
Been that long since we played them? That's
Yeah,
crazy.
we don't play Vandy all the time.
I know that. I'm just saying I didn't realize it was that long.
But I just feel like we are going to score some points. I want to say that we're going to win this game because I'm a diehard fan of Michigan State football, but I just haven't, I haven't seen how, we're going to be able to attack because we know Vandy's going to drop 8 and rush 3. Even Alabama rushed 3 and dropped 8. So we know what Vandy's going to do, even though they may have young corners or injured corners. I mean, if I had to put my money on this game, I would take Vandy for the money line, and I definitely would not take us to cover the 19-point spread with us winning.
Yeah, because that guy was talking about, I believe that we're going to score 14 points. I'm like, well, hell, if you think they go score 14 points, you think they go win. And he like,
Russell Brown talking about Russell Athletics uniforms, that type of uniforms we had back in the day.
Yeah,
Russell Athletics.
Walmart joints and faded glory. Arizona Jean Company.
Yeah, so I don't think we're going to win.
But Jeremiah, what you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're going to play well. I think everybody's like, I mean, it ain't like I'm trying to sunshine pump. I'm just looking at what the team is. Vanderbilt isn't very good. Our defense is very good. Even if we don't score a lot of points, we'll still win, I think. So, I mean, we're going to get to, like, who wins and why and all that stuff. But to sit like, against Vanderbilt, like, why are we talking, like, are we going to beat Vanderbilt? Like, come on, like.
Jeremiah, I smell a bet. Smell a bet.
So, what would you like to – I know what is Skip Bayless. We don't live by each other. Maybe we could do a cash out thing where you got to – Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp do Mountain Dew.
Okay, all right. So what's something that I know for a fact that you don't like?
I don't like?
Yeah.
I don't even know.
I don't know. Derek should come up with what the prize is gonna be.
What prize?
I'm gonna make Jeremiah make a video where he follow one of my recipes or something like that.
I think that's really the worst idea, but
I mean, you can try, see where it goes.
All right, so you had to cash out me. Skip Bayless, they do like a case of Mountain Dew. I like peach drink, so you had to cash out me some money to give me 3 peach drinks.
To get you 3 peach drinks? Okay, that's a bet. Bet that. And
that's if Mississippi State wins.
If Mississippi State,
I don't know. Are we going off win or what are we going off of?
Nah, we going off win-loss, baby.
Okay, so a state win. You got to send me money for 3 peach drinks, which probably like $5 pretty much. Okay. But if they score 21 points, you got to send me enough for 6 peach drinks, and I'll make sure I post them on Facebook, and that'll be like my payment for the bet with AJ.
All right, and let's see. I gotta get him like a CNN fake news something. I don't know.
Maybe I have to go on Facebook and admit that I'm fake news. Or something. Right. I don't know.
I am Jeremiah.
You gotta say if you
fake
win,
news for my prediction.
You gotta say you be stealing Derek ideas.
Boy, I love Kylin Hill or something.
Yeah.
Kylin Hill is my favorite player.
Yeah, remember when Chavo Guerrero had to wear that shirt? Eddie Guerrero is my favorite wrestler.
Wait. So we need to get that shirt made. I will get it made.
Okay. We go have Jeremiah.
If Mississippi State loses, Jeremiah has to wear Kylin Hill is my favorite player.
Yeah, or else he can have like Martin Luther King and it'd be like the dream come true.
I'm gonna get that shirt made. if you win the bet off. I'm gonna foot the bill.
Well, we
for
can
that.
do this. So what
I know
about
I'm gonna get to make that too.
what if we put on there on my where it has Jay Short that I could put like Kylin Hill's #1 fan?
Yeah,
Hey, before I get it made, we gonna see the design. So
okay. Yeah, and then like you
gotta wear that shirt every show for the rest of the year. Well, for the rest of the year, every show, either Saturday or midweek show.
I can do it for a week. I ain't doing it for no rest of the year.
What's the last thing that we supposed to be talking about? Because I feel like we've been on here entirely too long. Okay, the question now is, can we win a game for the rest of the season? Okay, outside of the Vanderbilt game, are we gonna win a game outside of this Vanderbilt game? Jeremiah.
Yeah, I think we'll win. After the Vanderbilt game, I think we'll win 2. I think we'll beat Missouri and Ole Miss. So I think we'll be 4-6. Miss our first bowl in 10 years or something.
It's still possible we can go to a bowl at 4-6.
Ole Miss is gonna punish us.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think you're giving our defense too little credit.
We have held on to the golden egg for 2 years. I have basked in the glory of making fun of every Ole Miss fan that I come across, even strangers that I'm running to in Baton Rouge. If they have an Ole Miss shirt on, I talk plenty noise. But this year, I am zipping my lips because if Matt Corral throws for 7 touchdowns against us, and if Elijah Moore gets retribution against us, because he's the reason why we won the Egg Bowl last year, and he torched Vandy's defense, which I know Vandy's defense is not as good as ours. But when your offense is struggling, you're giving the opponent offense plenty of time and opportunities to torch you, as we found out this weekend against Alabama. I want us to beat Ole Miss. I don't see it happen. I don't think we're going to win a game the rest of the year. Not right now. Not with how the way our offense playing. Just don't see it. And that hurts. It hurts to say that.
Hey, the name of this game should have been the Jim Moore game. Like, I just hope we can win another game. Like the Pope Vanderbilt dude had no faith in the team whatsoever.
He's like, I don't even care.
I mean, he's a Vandy graduate, so he's seen the ups and downs. I mean, kind of like you guys. Y'all have seen the ups and downs of Mississippi State football. Just like I have all of my life since I've been a Bulldog fan.
We saw mostly downs. I was there for the main game.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah. Me and Jeremiah was at that game together. It was pretty bad.
Yeah, the funny part is one of my friends, Desmond, shout out Desmond, went to Caledonia together. And so I remember talking to him in the cafeteria, or the calf as we used to call it, which I always thought was lame anyway. But anyway, I was talking to him in the calf, and I was like, yo, man, if y'all lose the main, I'm not showing up to any more games the rest of the season. And I remember being at the game, and I was like we kept getting down to the red zone, and we kept making mistakes and not scoring. I'm like I got a feeling we're going to lose this one for some reason. And then we lost. And then I was just dumbfounded that we just lost to Maine.
Yeah, remember the Maine. Maine.
Yeah. I know it's funny. I know when Desmond got married a couple years ago, a couple of his best men played at Mississippi State with him, played tight end with him, and I brought up that the Maine game. He was like, man, why you bring that up? I'm like, I mean, what I'm supposed to do? Y'all the one lost. I mean, what I'm supposed to do? Ain't my fault. Most of them are pretty cool about it. You bring up Maine.
Michael Bolton. Why I got to change my name? He the one who sucked.
I lost to Maine, dude.
So you think that we're actually going to win? You say we're going to win several more games. And me and Derek both agree that playoffs. Don't talk about playoffs.
Define several. I said possibly 2 additional.
We're going to win 3 more games. I don't think we're beating Vandy. We're not beating Auburn. We're not beating Georgia. It hurts me to say that we're going to lose to Ole Miss.
Not giving these teams too much credit, but
you're giving us too much credit.
I'm not.
We
I
have.
mean, you still looking at the thing. We haven't started. It's not putting all of it on Will Rogers and things like that. It's just the things I was seeing from him. I think we'll be able to move the ball with him in there. I don't think we'll go out there and score 30 because the offense just isn't designed to really do that in the first season. But I saw some things from him where I think he'll be able to move the football. I think I would like to see him have the whole game with all the practice reps. Because one of the things a lot of people have brought up is the fact, league closing. A lot of people talking about how the receivers, the timing, and all that type of stuff is off. So I think him having a full week as the starter, assuming he is, I think it'll bode well.
Well, here's the thing. As much as I would love to see with that Kylin Hill shirt that I'm going to get made for you, I sure hope that me and Arthur are both wrong about this Saturday's game. I really hope that we are.
I'll go you one better. I think we're going to cover. But
you think we're going to beat them by 20 points or more?
I do.
Jeremiah, this pandemic got you stir crazy, my guy.
Oh, it does, but still.
I mean, is this going to be a prediction like the LSU secondary claim?
Yeah, I think this one ain't going to take 17 years to come true.
I mean, because we don't play Vandy often, so maybe if we don't cover in the next, 6 years, you're going to have another chance to see if your Vandy prediction will come true. So let's get ready to get out of here, man. I mean,
y'all getting Vandy way
hungry. I'm going to eat.
Oh, well, I had me a wayside. First of all, bad boy.
Nobody care, man. You eating that dumb pig feet. Nobody care.
I was about to say I went to Godfrey's earlier, you feel me? And I, shout out Black business, support Black business. I went to Godfrey's earlier. I had some curry chicken, you feel me? I had some Marconi and cheese. And what else did I have? Some cabbage. Oh, my God, that cabbage was good. And I had some of that sweet cornbread. And I washed it down with some of that fruit water that they had. It had an orange and some watermelon because, of course, there's going to be watermelon. And it was all good, you know what I'm saying? So shout out to them. You feel me? Who else am I going to be shouting? I feel like I'm going to be shouting somebody else out, but oh well. All right. Parting shots, couple of seconds. Jeremiah, go.
I don't know, man. Just looking forward to the game and just hoping that the offense kind of gets it together so maybe we can have some hope for the rest of the season.
All right. Derek, parting shot.
Well, I got the Jack Crystal cowbell as donated by Jack Crystal's daughter, Kay Crystal. I'm not going to try to kill her last name. This is going to be one of the prizes that we're going to give away in the pick'em. And if you don't win a cowbell from us, if you want to buy one, you can hit Kay up on Facebook. They do sell the bell. But if you want to win this bell, make sure you join the pick'em this week. I will be putting it out tomorrow so that you can enter. It's free. Just pick the games and hope that you win. The football from the football legend is in the mail. It's on its way here. So we're gonna have some two good prizes to go, and then the bell that Arthur's gonna be giving away. I mean, man, if you want to get in this, 2 cowbells, a football signed by a Bulldog legend, and some other good things I'm trying to work on too.
Okay, so more about our bill. The bill that I'm giving away. All right, bad boy. Okay, my bill is on the floor. Y'all know what a cowbell looks. But anyway, I designed this son of a gun myself, so you already know that it's gonna go hard. Okay, the bell itself. Wait a second, let me go get because I don't have on
We don't want no TMI.
Y'all be
TMI, Arthur. TMI, bro. Real talk.
Hey, y'all be all right, so cause I'm at home, so why not, right? All right, so the bell is gonna be like all black, okay? The way that this one right here is all white is gonna be all black. You feel me? The whole thing will be black. The handle is gonna be black. And instead of like we got the Black Dogs podcast, actually this is Black Dogs Matter, which is the name of the group, the Facebook group. If you're African American, you wanna chop it up with some other African American fans, black fans, then look us up, Black Dogs Matter. But instead of it being a sticker, it's going to be actually like designed onto the bell.
Engraved.
Engraved into the bell itself. It's gonna be all black everything, and then the logo in the middle. It's gonna be done by the Bell Smith. You feel me? You know, he does good stuff. Big fan of the podcast or whatever. Always supports us on Instagram and all that good stuff. So be on the lookout for that. You figure deal me. So my parting shot, outside of me talking about the bell that I'm designing, is I feel like I'm supposed to be saying something, but I don't know what. One fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish, knick-knack, paddywhack.
Maroon fish.
Matter of fact, okay, I forget. Okay, so is Kylin Hill actually done with the Mississippi State Bulldogs? Will he go to an HBCU in the spring? Is Jeremiah Short fake news? Playoffs? Can we even win another game? These questions more answered on the next Black Dogs podcast. Well, not the next one, because the next one is the Breakfast with the Bulldogs, 10 o'clock Saturday. Remember, follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all of that good stuff. BLK Dogs Podcast. You feel me? So now, bye.